Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to join my colleagues in expressing support for this bipartisan effort to secure the GI Bill for future generations of veterans. The GI Bill serves two critical functions. First, it is a powerful tool for recruiting talented young people into military service. As we approach our 16th year at war, replenishing our all-volunteer military with patriotic and qualified Americans is vital to our mission abroad and our safety here at home. Second, the GI Bill ensures that veterans return home to more than just a thank you and a pat on the back. It ensures they are given the opportunity to build a rewarding, purposeful, and prosperous civilian life. This legislation guarantees that the GI Bill will continue to perform both of these functions for decades to come. And importantly, it does so without cutting benefits from anyone who is currently serving. I want to echo many of the supportive comments we've heard this evening and over the last week from members of Congress, as well as the veteran service organizations that play an important role in representing the veterans community. The removal of time restrictions for future GI Bill recipients, the deserved increases in funding for reservists and guardsmen, and the additional educational support for veterans' families are all features of this legislation that are worth celebrating. This bill also incorporates my proposal to permanently authorize VA's work-study allowance program and my proposal to end the unequal treatment of reservists and guardsmen. This legislation gives them the same ability as active duty service members to accrue GI Bill benefits when they are ordered into active duty to receive medical care. But I want to focus my comments on one piece of this legislative package that represents a major step forward for student veterans. For far too long, a swarm of predatory for-profit schools have exploited the generosity of the GI Bill and have cheated thousands of veterans out of the education and the future they deserve. A 2014 Senate Help Committee study found that 8 of the top 10 schools receiving post-9/11 GI Bill money were for-profit institutions. At the time, 7 of those 8 schools were under investigation for unethical business practices, including the now defunct ITT Technical Institute and Corinthian colleges. From 2009 to 2015, these 2 schools collected more than $1 billion in veterans' benefits. I'm pleased that this bill provides relief to the thousands of student veterans who are left with non-transferable credits and a depleted GI Bill benefit when their school abruptly closes in the middle of a semester. Restoring both tuition and housing benefits to these veterans for a semester cut short by a school closure is simply the right thing to do. And by making this provision retroactive, we are restoring a measure of justice for the students at ITT Tech and Corinthian, as well as others across the country who have been left out in the cold by a college that shuts down without warning. I have advocated for this provision since my first days in Congress, and I truly appreciate Chairman Rowe and Ranking Member Wall's work to include it in this bill. However, this bill does not solve the problem of unethical schools preying upon veterans' benefits. In fact, its inclusion is evidence that much more needs to be done so that veterans are never forced to seek this type of relief in the first place. The 90-10 loophole, which allows for-profit schools to count GI Bill benefits as private funding instead of federal funding, continues to incentivize aggressive recruitment of student veterans. That loophole still needs to be addressed. The gainful employment and borrows defense rules, which the Trump administration has put on hold, would finally establish oversight and accountability for unethical schools. Those rules still need to be implemented. As long as these issues remain unresolved, bad actors in the for-profit education industry will continue to defraud student veterans and taxpayers out of billions of dollars. I look forward to working with my colleagues to build on the progress we've made on this issue. Now, there's no question that we still have significant work ahead of us to address the challenges facing the veterans community, but this legislation is a milestone worth celebrating and certainly worth passing into law. The collaborative nature of this bill reflects the spirit of bipartisanship that has made this committee so effective over the past several months. Once again, I applaud the chairman and the ranking member for their leadership, as well as my colleagues on the committee who contributed to the strength of this legislation. I encourage all members to support this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.